Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning, we continue our conversation by speaking with Mr. Koon Koon. Good morning, how are you doing?
Good morning, I'm fine.
Excellent. And we know whenever we see you here, we're talking about farming and all that's happening with that, right? This morning, we are talking about Bago birds and the mega farming project. Tell us a bit about that.
So, Bago Birds was formed basically some years back, right? Through me farming, and that's just part in the poultry section. And when we started the program with TATCO, we see how far it could go and how wide it could go. And we decided to go and look for some funding to bring a mega farm to Tobago in the poultry sector, which we did last year. And we started the project. The project right now is on its way going. It's moving along slowly but surely.
How is this tied to the distribution of chicks that TADCO did within the last 2 years?
So what we did, right, with all the data that we was gathering from TATCO and all the numbers that was given to us and what they were trying to accomplish, we realized they didn't have certain infrastructure in place. Not that the birds that the system that TATCO came up with would have failed, it just didn't have the right infrastructure in place. And with me seeing that, I took that as an opportunity to put the systems in place, right? Meaning bringing better pens, better slaughtering facility, having a cold storage besides TATCO on the island that could hold a certain amount of cold storage for a farm, a mega farm.
Excellent. And when we talk about this mega farm initiative, what type of impact are we looking to have island-wide?
Well, impact. We trying to bring farmers up to date, right? All farmers, not just my farm alone, but all poultry farmers on the island. What we want to do is completely stop bringing chicks from Trinidad and hatching the chicks here in Tobago, right? We also bring in a system, and one of the modern systems that it have in the world right now in mining chickens to show farmers, look, we don't need to mine chicken in a traditional way anymore. If we want to get up in numbers, this is the way forward. With the way our climate change going right now, these are the systems all around the world using. And as I say, it is going to be very costly, but it is the way forward for the farming community.
Excellent. And even as it pertains to, your partnership with TADCO and the type of funding that is needed to get farmers more up to date, what are some of the gaps that you have been seeing as it pertains to visiting other farms in Tobago and looking at some of the outdated practices?
So let me just clear something. I do have a partnership right now with TATCO. Everything that I'm doing is financed personally with investors, okay? What we was doing with TATCO is that we was doing, when they were doing the chicks and they were doing that.
So you use that as a foundation?
Yes, I use that as a foundation. Because I say there was a lot of data gathered and there was a lot of training in that capacity at that time where we went on farms and we saw, and every farm we go on, it was always traditional, right? And we needed to get out of that. And I decided this is the way forward to go. With farmers in Tobago, they want to go forward, but as I say, it is very costly. So what we have to do is find a way to work with collaboration with the THA to get farmers up there, because most farmers, the cry is money. That is basically it, is money. It all boils down back to dollar and cents.
Right. And even as you have, utilized this initiative from TADCO to grow your own organization, right, as it pertains to Bago birds, how can you advise farmers to, make the same leap as it pertains to growing what you have and establishing something on a larger scale?
Farmers in Tobago already have a foundation, right? Farmers exist already. They are here. They just want that extra push. So when the THA or any identity come to the farmers, the farmers have to put themselves out there. Look, this is where I want to be this year, next year, and 10 years down the road. And that way farmers could get up to date.
And all this equipment that we're seeing, these are the equipment that your Bago Birds company has invested in to increase production of eggs, chicks.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here is one of the slaughtering lines. it's two machines like this will be coming, right? What we want to do is this will be the most modern one in Tobago, with all standards keeping up to date. So we want to slaughter all the birds on the island to keep the standard up with all the health practices and things. This is why we invest in so heavily. We also building a training facility on the compound, so other farmers will be coming in to train, and anybody else who wants to come and train with the facility.
Excellent. Have you reached out to the Division of Food Security to discuss what these type of partnerships can look like, and how, you know, even though you are getting one of these, how can having two of these, you know, double the impact that you are trying to achieve?
So I always like to prepare for the future. That's why we bring in two, right? Because I believe there's a great need for this type of farming in Tobago, because there's nothing like it, and we depend on one boat, and God forbid that something happened to that boat, or something happens to Trinidad and they decide to keep their meat for themselves, then Tobago will suffer. And you don't want to have a five-star hotel like Sandals coming here and products are being held back for some reason. Tobago must be able to stand on its own when it comes to agriculture. Back to talks with the Division of Agriculture. Yes, I've spoken to them. I must say, I've spoken to Miss Pantin on a one-on-one. She came, she visited the farm, she gave her good thoughts about it. She loved the project, and everything again, it boiled back down to money. I've not heard, they have gone silent on me for a few months now. I haven't heard from them nor seen them. I was already reaching out to them, talking to the Mega Farm Committee, anybody on the committee I could get to talk to.
What type of partnership are you looking for from the THA? I mean, you have made the initial step to have the conversation. You have done the work on your own by getting independent investors on board to get, you know, this type of high-tech equipment on the island to increase your production. What type of partnership are you looking for?
I think if the THA could come and help financially with all the training facilities that we have, we could work back out something with the THA.
What does a financial contribution look like? Is it for the workers, sending agricultural workers to the farm? What would that look like?
Finance to help finish the project.
Okay.
Because right now, to date, we have spent about $6 million already from pocket. $6 million. And we're still spending. The land was given to us was a mountain. We literally had to cut the mountain in half to get the space.
And that's already half of your budget.
Yeah. And then the equipment was that. So we want to build facilities, first-at-the-art facilities. I don't want to build nothing and nobody to tell me we're building something and we build something next year. No, I want to build it out one time. I want to be able to have something to say, yes, we could send people here to train, and when people come to visit the island, they have something to see. So if the THA come together and work with us, we could build this, we could do it, and everybody in Tobago could benefit. Farmers from here, farmers from Trinidad, farmers from up the Caribbean, it doesn't matter where, because the THA could reach out to anybody and we could host. We see.
Do you know that the Division of Food Security has, I believe it's the Tobago Agricultural Research Institute, that is now, I believe, at Kendall, where Kendall Farm School was there. Do you see an integration of what is happening there with what you are offering?
Of course, because one of the facilities that we want to build on the farm is a state-of-the-art vet lab. I have a passion for agriculture. It doesn't stop at poultry, right? I love to mix science with agriculture. It's a way forward. I've seen Jamaica grown, large scale on their livestock program. I want to do AI, I want to do embryo transplants. But I know for these things to work, you had to have somebody managing it properly. This is why I want to be the manager of these things, to see it through till the end, so that the end product could end up to the farmer.
How long has Bago Bird been registered?
Bago Bird has been registered over 2 years now. Yeah.
Are you aware that the THA has a venture capital fund?
So we working with venture capital for the last couple of months. Yes, have to go through a fine teeth comb with venture capital to get it right. I can't say that they're not working with us. We're working with us, but it's not happening fast enough for me.
Okay.
Right now, I have over $2 million in equipment at Belmont Farm sitting on our mountainside for the last 6 months. And as I say, every time you get a breakdown of some money, it goes back into excavation work, like the excavation work wouldn't finish. And you keep cutting the mountain. And now the rain is down. I had to bring in 3, 4 different type of equipment to get because the foundation need to finish. Right? To take these equipments off the ground now.
Division of works. Is that an option to assist as
Yes,
it pertains
I
to?
did write to Mr. Trevor James. He did a visit last 2 weeks. He promised me an excavator for 2 weeks. It's still a help, but it's not it's not the amount of help I need. I need a lot of help.
Right. And even as the bureaucracy within the THA prohibits the fast movement that you require for the successful completion of this project, I know you already have private sector investors involved, but are you open to other persons that are willing to invest in the project? And if so, how can persons reach out to you to become a part of the initiative?
So if we have to go that way, a decision will have to be made by the board if we want to go that way. Anybody could reach out if they want to help, and we could have a discussion. We're always open for discussion and new investment because we want to do 30 domes like this by 2030. We just need to get the first 2 running, and I could do the rest. I'm sure that I could do the rest. And the 30 domes is not for me, it's for other farmers. It's to invest into farmers, go below the domes and just help them manage their farms. And the farmers will be making a lot of money from one of these domes.
Excellent. Well, we want to firstly say congratulations to you for the level of initiative that you have taken to not just speak of agricultural development and innovation, but to take the steps necessary to bring a higher level and quality of agricultural production as it pertains to poultry farming on the island. We here at Tobago Updates wish you nothing but the best, and our platform is open to you to assist as it pertains to your fundraising initiatives, if that is something that you want to do.
Yes, definitely.
Moving forward. All right. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time here this morning. And I am quite impressed. I am extremely impressed with the vision that you have, and it would be amazing to see it manifested into reality.
I think I know that it will come into light just now. I hope that the Chief Secretary, I've listened to his New Year's resolution speech about mega farming. I hope that he could come and see the farm for himself. I've been trying to reach
It's almost like you're doing the job for them, right? Because everything that they say that they want to do, you are doing it with this project.
I don't want to work against the THA. I want to work with the THA. Tobago deserve this. Tobago farmers have been crying for years. Right now, Trinidad practically last week was underwater, and Tobago is going to suffer. Tobago Nuance is going to suffer. The reason why I say that, market prices are going to be very high, and we in Tobago shouldn't be suffering for that. We in Tobago should be enjoying the fruits of the farmers here. But farmers, as I say, if the budget that's coming up, I see a good budget for the agriculture division, I want that money to go to farmers. I don't want it to go to a promotion to some World Food Day show. We ain't have nothing yet for show. Let we develop the farmers. Send the money directly to the farmers. Come up with some kind of plan in your division to help farmers directly. Send money to them. That's what they need. They need money. They need money, and once they get money, they're going to work. You're going to see them working.
Excellent. Well, again, Mr. Koon Koon, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much.
And all the best with your Tobago Birds Mega Farm project. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have done and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Shenell Felix, and I want to say thank you to all my guests that have been a part of this morning's discussion, and thank you to you for staying tuned.